Today's video. This is going to be pretty huge, so let's sort of start off with it. Ninjago's the Serpentine War comic. So, if you haven't been aware, we are going to get the strike of the Serpentine. This is a prequel comic that will take, obviously, place during the Serpentine War. We must have got some information about this in the Garmadon book. Ooh. Yeah, we might have got some information. Let me quickly take a look at this. So, we're going to take a look at, So, we're going to take a look at the Serpentine War and information that we know so far. So, let me Google what this word is, because I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, so bear with me. Comes off cars.
Prelude.
An action or event serving as an introduction. So, why couldn't they use introduction? Okay, so more than 40 years ago, the humans and the Serpentine did not get along, but both sides wanted to live in truce, especially the Supreme General of the Anacondrae, Arcturus. Gowan was at the time teaching of Master Chen along with Klaus. How Chen found the peace between the humans and the Serpentine boring and wanted to start a war, which Gowan disagreed and left his past. And while this was happening, Master Wu and Gowan were obviously at two separate ways, and Master Wu was training Mora. At this time, Chen was also trying to corrupt Garmadon with Misako and talking to him about a way to stop the Serpentine War with Shadow Spin. I don't know if that's going to talk about it here. I wanted to make sure that's a part of that introduction. The War of the Serpentine Tribes. For centuries, the Serpentine tribes, namely Hypnobrai, Fangpire, the Venomari, the Constricti, and the Anacondrae were both at war with each other. Chen, who did not give up his plan to start a war, realized the only way to start it was to unite all the tribes. Because of this, he lied to the Serpentine that the humans were going to attack, which is why the Serpentine tribes united under the command of General Arcturus and went on the offense. The beginning of the Serpentine War. Aware of Chen's words and fearing the dawn of the Golden Master, I wonder if we can quickly take a look at this. Let's quickly see if this will take us to another page. Yeah, so the Golden Master is pretty much this whole thing where they were afraid that the Overlord would pretty much get a hold of it. The Serpentine tried to force people underground, but they failed, even using the young Great Devourer to scare them below the surface. After the failed attempts to protect the people and the Serpentine were seen as monsters. After this, they finally started the conflict known as the Serpentine War. Okay, so one of the main battles that we were aware of is the one in Dramaticae Village. The Serpentine won this war against the Elemental Masters, joined force, and fought against the Serpentine. One of the first battles of the war was obviously in Dramaticae Village. So we know that majority of the tribes were there. Chen decided to join the Serpentine and asked Garmadon for the same. Although Garmadon wanted nothing more than to be with Misako, so he left his master, then did the whole Shadow Spin comic. Okay, the other main part that we know of is the Birchwood Forest. Garmadon and Wu obviously joined forces together and formed the Elemental Alliance. The decisive battle of the war of the Elemental Alliance alongside Ninjago's soldiers and rice farmers against the Anaconda took place in the Birchwood Forest, and with a new victory for the humans during the battle, Garner discovered former ally. Who's this guy? Okay, so Lord Mungru, who was one of the bad guys in the Gamelon comic. Okay, cool. So Morgo has defected to the side of the Serpentine. Enraged, Gamelon fought against his former ally, fighting alongside his brother to defeat and capture him. Later, as the humans pursued the fleeing Anaconda, they discovered that Master Chan had managed to turn some of the masters against each other, such as the Elemental Master of Earth, who, manipulated by the Hypnobar. That's interesting. Cole's grandfather gets hypnotized by the same creatures that pretty much took control of Cole in the first season, turning the Elemental Alliance against itself and and allowing the Anaconda to resume their attack against pretty much everyone. The defeat of the I'm gonna quickly brush off this last part. So pretty much how they defeat it is with the sacred flute. I butchered that. It's pretty much with this. Obviously, we've always known this. The Serpentine War isn't really something that's really hard to understand, right? So I'm gonna, to be honest, the Serpentine War, its story, let me quickly tell you something. Hopefully, this gives me the answer. So, the story is made simply like this: Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So, what we pretty much have gotten, I'm going to say, this is probably from season 1 to 7 about the Serpentine War. We've known the beginning of the story. We've known that young Gamelon and young Wu were off on separate paths. We know it's sort of middle point acts that happened before the middle. Obviously, we were training Moro, and Moro sort of going on all rage. We were doing other stuff while Gamelon had met other allies. The Shadowspin comic. Then that middle part is pretty much the Birchwood Forest fights, and pretty much what this new comic of the Strike of the Spinjitzu of the Serpentine is going to be based upon. So that will be the middle, I'm going to take a guess. That last climax will be the final battle that they have in the Birchwood Forest, I presume, unless that takes place in this middle act too. But most likely the end point is with the Sacred Flute, and then this final part where the consequences will talk about how they all got trapped. So, of course, over the next decades, humans completely forgot about the Serpentine War, Elemental Alliance. Gon was completely controlled by the Great Devour. Wu banished him to the underworld. Lloyd released Serpentine. Gon who, yada yada yada, all Ninjago stuff. So, yeah. So Elemental Alliance people that we do know of, that were definitely there. So, the Elemental Alliance. So, Wu and Gamelon. Ray Maya, the Master of Ice, Jay's mother, Cole's grandfather, the Master of Shadow, who, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it like this, so we can see who these people are. So, Cole's grandfather, I'm going to get the Strike of the Serpentine comic also up here, so we can take a look at who's actually in this first look. Alright. Can I... Okay, so remember, those are the people we're seeing here. This is obviously Wu in the middle. On the side with the sword is Gamelon, of course. And we're going to know the three elemental masters on the side of Wu's left, or his right, on the bottom of his stick. So here is Cole's grandfather. So he is At this time where he's fighting with the 17, he's on their side, but he's being controlled by Hypnobrai. Um, and you can slightly no, you can see him right on the middle point. This part where Wu is right there. He's there. Uh, so Elemental Master of Shadow, uh, which is I think is a really cool design. She was a part of the 17 War. She's a cool character. I like the looks of her. This person near Ganon could be her. Uh, she looks like she has more detail, to be honest. But then again, they have definitely changed characters. If you take a look at how Ray used to look, uh, Ray looks so much older there, and he looks so much younger here. So, eh, it's what the difference is, to be honest. Eh, I do like Ray's torso, to be honest. I don't know why haven't we got this suit for Ray? I don't even like this suit. Like, where's this suit? Well, this suit. Also, why is he wearing like city attire? This is like 1800, bro. What else? Who else? The Elemental Master of Gravity. Oh, I swear to God, I thought that guy was Master of Gravity. That might be the Master of Sound. All right, so that's the Master of Gravity. Master of Sound. This is the guy, isn't it? Master of Sound, who looks definitely not like Master of Sound in my opinion. That's him there. This is the unknown Elemental Master. Uh, Apparently the assumption was light. I pretty. I'm aware. Spellbound. I was gonna say this. It's Skybound. Oh, shit. Uh, there doesn't say much about him. Join the alliance. Uh, yeah, doesn't doesn't say anything. Interesting. So we don't really know who that guy is. I thought he was the Master of Light, but looks like it's unknown. Because he does have an elemental. Wait, sorry. He does have an elemental dragon. Let me feel something. Ninjago. Well, that's what Pale Man's dragon looks like. You'd think they'd look the same, but that might be something else. That might even be the electricity element. Well, you know what? That could actually be the Master of the Mind's dragon. He could be the Elemental Master of Mind. Former. Interesting. We'll only have to wait and see. I guess Ninjago will delve into it. Other characters: Chen, Klaus, uh, and Morgro. Who? Let's quickly get some more information about this dude. Because if you've missed a comic like I have, you probably don't even know who this guy is. Background in the First Ninjutsu War: Morgro once an ally to the Elemental Alliance, but eventually defected to the side of the 17. Shen, Morgro face going on. Let's see if we can get some comic panels. Okay, so this is him fighting in the Serpentine War. Let's try to read what he says. You've sided with Chen and the snakes. If it isn't young Lord Cameron, what can I say? I was never one to fall in line. Why be a pawn in service of Ninjago when I can be king? Sounds a bit like Garon. Who's really the traitor here? I would never betray Ninjago. Then you're a liar and a fool. you've chosen the wrong side, going on. And then Gohan's like, and it's Ninjago that pays the price for losing this guided and selfish nobility. No, that's not what Gohan says. Uh, Wu says, hang on, Ray Maya. And it looks like, yeah, it's very hard to tell in comic book. Stupid choice, boy. You know, match for me. Except he's not fighting alone. Good timing, huh? You could have gotten here sooner. Huh. Let's show him what Father taught us. You're reading my mind. Huh. So just in understanding, this dude must have been a friend of Galanon's in the past. Must have taught him a couple of stuff. I think in the comic he's pretty evil to say. Obviously that obviously happens, and I believe the Serpentine War apparently is mentioned in the Homecoming and the Lion King, and the wildness pictured, Shadowsman pictured. The garden, the snake of in the garden flashback, graphic novels, Tomb of the Vampire, Vision. Huh. Sorry. It's late. And I'm talking about this. So let's talk about everything that we do know about the Serpentine, Strike of the Serpentine, quickly. So what we do know, Mugamon, official description is pretty much this. There's more that we're gonna know about. Who's unknown elements master? Yep. Skills great for MS sound. Why did I not have to move? Gone. Onion Dragon Hybrid, Serpentine, Anachondri. There's something else I wanted to talk about. We could possibly actually begin to see sets about this. Is the alleged rumor at the moment about this. The reason being is it's rumored that this stuff will tie into next year's season of Dragons Rising. Now, obviously, Ninjago needs to find an established way to lawsuit this into season 4 story. So quickly spoiling what we know about season 4, season 3. So what we know about season 3 so far is all the ninjas should make it out fine besides Colt at this point. What will season 4 entail? Breaking this down retrospectively, what we know about season 4 is it's delving into elemental powers, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Skylar sub-story in this about her elemental power. And I wouldn't be surprised if elemental power keeps coming up in season 4, part 1 and part 2, and playing a huger role than what we know of. In a story standpoint with the Source Dragons, Doc Wyatt has also spoken that we will find out what each element belongs to. Right? So I'm going to take a wild limb here and also say I feel like one of the ninja may lose their powers, because there is a thing that's out there is when a Source Dragon dies, those elements die too. It'd be interesting to see maybe whoever's power this is, whatever power this is, so say from it got transferred to a different character and she had it before the Source Dragon balance cocked it, and thanks to the Arc Dragon of Focus now being around, the power has come back. Maybe this character goes sees the ninja. I would love that. I think season 4, in my opinion, needs to set up an elemental alliance for season 5. I think this ties into it for 2 reasons. Ninjago Legends isn't purposely a story about Dragons Rising, but also doesn't need to. It could tie into this. For all we know, the only reason why we get that Master Wu figure is to tie into the show. To this show. There's a lot. So, we could see sets about this. Maybe this is what LEGO wants to do. Wants to add a theme. A new theme. Why not? I do think this would be good. The thing I would do if I was LEGO is probably sell this stuff at this roll. Because why the fuck not? Just my opinion. And that's my attitude to it. Because here in Australia, we barely get this stuff. I would do that. Throw in a couple of Elemental Masters. I heard Tanafishi say that we could possibly get a new Monastery of Ninjutsu and get a whole heap of old Elemental Masters. I definitely like that idea. Just, also no. I could also see LEGO finally getting pissed off at something, because this LEGO Snaketail piece. This Snaketail piece has been around since the start of Ninjago, and Ninjago hasn't technically used it since 2019. Oh no, sorry, probably since Pythor. My bad. I can see LEGO being pretty pissed off that they've been using the normal Asphera snake piece, the Ghost Snake piece, for a while. I can see LEGO actually being pissed off about that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing that again. Love to. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to start seeing the Ninjago Dragons Rising sort of trying to wrap up its stories, trying to start moving on. I hope that actually does happen. We obviously need to slowly come to the end of the 4th season, which will lead into the final chapter of Dragons Rising. But Lord Raz obviously has a plan, and he could create a war similar to the Serpentine War. I feel, if anything, the reason why the strike of the Serpentine War story is playing out is for the ninja to realize what Lord Raz is playing at is at an old stake that's going to get higher than what the last war was. And the ninja haven't been in a war. If you think about it, where the storyline is going, Ninjago's telling a story that's interesting and unique. The Serpentine War is a story based upon everyone trying to cope and live together in harmony. The merge has happened. All realms have been connected. Harmony is not always going to be there. This is new. 5 years has passed and still no harmony. No war has broken out, but Lord Raz can do that. The Source Dragons is what he and his master want. But in saying that, Lord Raz has his own plans. Remember, he got Beatrix to go with him. We know Beatrix will return. Can you imagine, like, an army of old villains from the series? So say the Forbidden Five, Beatrix, Lord Raz, Source Dragons, being controlled by him, all against the ninja? That'd be